Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So I finally am here with you for my review of Evermore by Taylor Swift. I feel like I've done a review for basically from like Reputation on, and so obviously I had to do one for Evermore, which is like took me by surprise, but it took me a while to actually listen to this album in full because I just had so many things going on. But I finally listened to it a few times now, even with the bonus tracks, because I saw on Instagram that they were out and I like ran to Target, so I was very excited about this. But me and my sister joke because basically since July we've just been listening to Folklore on repeat. So when I just happened to open Instagram one morning and I saw that Taylor was announcing her new album, a surprise album, I was like, oh my goodness, Taylor Swift has saved 2020. And so I was very excited for that. And I stayed up until midnight to like watch the music video for Willow and all that. So I will kind of go more in depth of what I think about this album. But yeah, overall, like, I think it is very good. It hasn't grown on me because it hasn't been around as long as Folklore has been, but I feel like it will eventually get to the point where I'm just totally obsessed with it. And especially because these songs are very complex, it takes a while to like memorize all the words, so I'm still working on that because it's just very complex in terms of the writing. But what I really like about this album is the storytelling in here. And I remember, I think it was in her Apple Music interview that she did not too long ago, she was talking about how she kind of felt the kind of freedom of being able to not write so autobiographical songs, and how enclosing that felt, and how she was able to explore the storytelling aspect of writing with creating these new characters and situations. And so I really like how she kind of continued on that storytelling aspect with these songs in here as well. And I like how, especially like with the Willow music video, is basically a continuation of Cardigan, and I think that was really neat. Like, I am very much an engineer at like analytical mind, so people that have that creativity with those things, like, I'm very like, I admire that because my brain does not work that way at all. But yeah, I was really excited for this. So essentially, like I said, it hasn't grown on me as much as Folklore because it hasn't gotten to that point, but I think I like it just as much as Folklore. But like I said, it hasn't been around as long for it to be like, you know, I haven't listened to it for 5 months straight essentially. But what I really like about this, I feel like Folklore is very much like kind of a black and white storytelling, you know, experience, while Evermore is a storytelling experience but in color. And I think that's very like, it's observable in the album covers. And so I think like this one, I feel like like there was a few songs on Folklore, like I enjoyed all the songs, but there were some that I didn't really enjoy as much as others. Like Bon Iver's voice, like I recognize that it's a very good voice, but I just don't like it. It sounds like nails on chalkboard for me. And so like Exile, I didn't really like that much because I didn't really like Bon Iver's section of it. Or like This Is Me Trying, just like, I don't know, I didn't really like those ones. And so there's a few tracks in here that I'm not the biggest fan of. I think the ones that I don't like, they're all still very good on Evermore, but I think the ones that I don't enjoy the most are Closure. I think like sonically it's very different than the kind of cabin in the woodsy kind of acoustic folky sound that the rest of the album has, and it's like sonically like upsetting almost, like the kind of the staticky like abrupt noises in the background I feel like are very distracting, and I don't really like I said, it feels very different than the rest of the album. Like, I think it's lyrically very good, I just don't like the sonic arrangement of the song. And then Coney Island, which I think is just boring. Like, I don't really like the duet aspect in this one. Like, I think it's pretty boring, but I think like the songwriting in here is like top tier. So like, especially with Champagne Problems, which probably has, if not like as good as, or if not better of a bridge than All Too Well. Like, that one is just amazing. You know, Happiness is another great song as well, and like Evermore. So like there's The writing in here I think is just as good, but there's some songs I think that just kind of didn't meet the caliber that Folklore set, but nevertheless I think this album is still really good. I also feel like Long Story Short, I also really like that song. I feel like it fits more with kind of the 1989 like sonically than kind of this album as well. It feels like more kind of poppy than the rest of the album, so it kind of just for me it doesn't really fit with the overall kind of sound of this album. So like those are like my two kind of, not like critiques, but like not complaints, but like kind of more critiques of the album, but I still really enjoy it. I think overall my favorite songs are Champagne Problems, Dorothea, Ivy, and Evermore, and I think, and Willow. I like Willow too, but yeah, I think those are like my favorites. I'll probably, if I forget any more, I'll have them here, but here's the list so far. But I think this album was very freeing for her to kind of, especially if Folklore as well was kind of like an experimental, not really knowing what to expect, and it was successful, and they kind of continued with that. So I think I'm interested to see what else Taylor does. I think she's gonna, now that she has like these albums out, I think she's gonna focus on the re-recording and like those releases of it to like distract us for a little bit until the re-recordings are done. But I'm very curious to see what she has in store, kind of like with moving forward. But I think what I've, like, these two albums have shown me is that she is very genre fluid. She can go country, she can go pop, she can do like dubstep, she can do some rapping and kind of grungy, you know, pop, and then now she can do kind of folksy music. So I think it shows how well-rounded she is as an artist, and what she really kind of shines and what makes her really stand out is her songwriting and her ability to very much kind of bring words to the human experience in different ways of, you know, expressing that. I think is very remarkable. So like I said, this probably will be like near and dear to my heart, as I'll probably love this album just as much as Folklore. I just need to give it like 5 more months and then we'll be there. But I think this one is maybe, I think it's just as good as Folklore. I think it just depends on what kind of point you are in your life and like what songs you're kind of gravitating towards, but I think it's just an amazing album, and obviously I love it. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you felt about Evermore and what are your favorite songs on the album. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.